So diet, movement, and mindset. So I had to switch from seeing my diet as comfort to seeing my diet as fueling myself. I had to stop seeing movement as punishment and start seeing movement as a tool to help me reach my goals. And I had to change my mindset from punishing myself to empowering myself. Where do we go from there?
And that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy.
It is.
Oh, did you think that 3 years ago, did you think that you'd be where you are today?
No.
No.
Mm-hmm. No, I genuinely thought I was going to be with you for a year. It's like, a year?
Yeah.
Because it's really as easy as that. Other people on the internet have done it in 6 months. Because it's just about getting skinny, Jai. It's not just about getting skinny.
Get skinny
and that'll solve all my problems.
Good. And so you said that if you can do it, other people can do it. What do you mean by that?
Because I came from such a place of such low self-confidence and disbelief in myself that it was literally, because I said before, haven't I, that you were my last shot. And then I was going to go and cut it off. And because in my head, I was going to go to Turkey anyway. So you were my last shot and it wasn't going to work. But if I could come in with that mindset of thinking to myself, right, this is it, and still having a backup plan in my mind, if I could make it work with that mindset, sure, it's got to be, other people can surely do it as well.
So I can assure you that people don't know how bad you had it. Tell me more about the previous mindset you used to have.
Before starting all of this, so I think it was literally a get through the day, try not to think about myself, definitely not putting myself first, definitely trying to make myself as small as possible, but not also so that other people couldn't see me, but probably so I couldn't see myself either. And just thinking if I could just make it through the day and get home and get to the end of the day, then that's all that matters. And it wasn't living, it was literally just surviving every single day and not thriving at all. It's horrible.
You were looking at food for comfort.
Because that was the only thing that was successful, because I was so hard on myself and unhappy with how I looked. But that was the only thing that would give me a little bit of, because I felt everybody else was lying to me as well. Like, I could see how big I was and everyone was going, oh no, it's not that bad. And I was like, I know you're lying. So food was the only sort of real comfort that I thought I had.
So you've got an incredible husband. He supports you. He said he's going to love you whatever shape you were. When you look in the mirror, what would you see?
Oh, grossness. And I would look in the mirror and he would say to me, like, you are so beautiful and I find you so attractive. And in my head, I was like, he is lying to you, because what I would see would just be like a blob. And I would hone in on all the parts I didn't like my stomach, my legs, just how big I was. And I thought, there is no possible way on God's green earth that anybody can find this attractive, because I don't like it. So nobody else is going to like it.
And can you share with us what absolutely nobody knew that you were feeling inside?
Just so absolutely worthless and so unconfident. I was literally living a day-to-day of fake it until you make it. It's so easy to have fake confidence and pretend and tell people what they want to hear, but inside I genuinely felt like there was no lower for me to go. There was literally, like, if I had to put myself in a list of things that were worthwhile on this planet, I would have put myself right at the bottom.
And who knew that you were feeling like that?
Nobody. I think to some extent Carl had an inkling, but he never really, I don't think he ever really fully understood the extent of it.
Did you realise the extent of it?
No, because it's so you hide it from yourself, because you're playing that same game that you're playing for other people. So you want them to think that you're okay, so you tell them that you're okay, and you kind of tell yourself that as well, but it's not okay.
And how long were you like that?
the longest time. I can't even.
Mm.
The longest of times.
You normalised it.
Yeah, yeah. That was just the status quo. That was how I lived. That was my life.
Mm-hmm.
That was so normal for me, and I couldn't understand how everybody else was having these wonderful lives and having all this happiness and joy, and I wasn't, and I couldn't understand, and I just blamed it all on the weight. I blamed it all on the fact that I was bigger, and that's why I wasn't having the same opportunities as everybody else.
Can you tell us just a few breakthroughs that you had from training?
From training.
Mm-hmm.
So I one of the things I think that I've learned over this whole process, that when you're having a really, really bad day and you're feeling down and you're feeling weak and you're feeling rubbish about yourself and you feel like you haven't got anything left to give, just go and pick up something heavy, and then that's like proof in your hands of how strong you are, because if you weren't strong you couldn't lift it. So it's physical, tangible proof in your hands, because our brains lie to us, and it's just your brain telling you these things. But when you physically lift something that's really heavy, you cannot argue that you know you're strong when you're lifting something heavy.
And did you notice that in the first week of training?
I noticed how good I felt.
Good. So it starts with the feeling.
Yeah. I noticed that, because before I wouldn't have tried to exercise, I wouldn't have tried to run. I'd have gone for a walk maybe, but that would have made me feel worse because I'd have gotten out of breath really quickly, and I would have just stopped and thought, well, I can't do it. But when I left our sessions in the very beginning, I felt like I'd achieved things. I felt like, oh my God, I can do that. That's really amazing. I never thought I could.
What else did you learn about yourself?
That I'm a lot more determined than I thought I was, that I'm a lot more capable than I thought I was, and that I've got a lot more potential than I thought I did.
What can you share about, do you remember that session we did where I asked you to find out that inner part of yourself that was holding you back?
I do, yeah. I do remember that. That was a really tricky one, because there's a lot of facing up to things that you don't want to face up to at that point, but it's just fear that that something's gonna confirm, I don't know what, but something's gonna confirm everything you've thought about yourself. So even though I had the evidence I could do it, I had the evidence that I was doing really well, the minute you said to me, right, what is it that's holding you back? It all came back, and I was like, oh my God, no, it's just gonna confirm that I am, in fact, not as good as I thought I was, not as capable as I thought I am. So it was fear more than anything. But when you face it and you stand up to it and you think, I've got to just trust it, I've got to just trust that I'm wrong and that this isn't the case, that makes a huge difference. Because it's like taking a bet, you're gambling on yourself.
Your commitment.
Yeah.
Your commitment to yourself has been fantastic. But this process has been easy for you because you've got all of this abundant time. You've got so much time to do all of this. What is it that's allowed you to make the time for this?
I put myself first.
Well done.
I put myself first. Over, and this is where it can be a bit tricky sometimes. Sometimes I'm putting myself first over my husband. Sometimes I'm putting myself first over my kids. There are times where I'm definitely putting myself first over my family. And people don't like that, but that's their adjustment they need to make. That's not my adjustment. My life isn't for them, it's for me. So as soon as I sort of decided, all right, I've got to commit to this, it's non-negotiable. If I want the results that I want, I'm not going to get them by doing things for other people. I'm going to get them by doing things for me.
If I was to share everything that you've shared with me now, on the very first day of our journey, what would it have sounded like?
What would it have sounded like coming from you?
Yeah.
And how would I have taken that? I would have thought you were mad. I honestly would have thought you were mad, and I would have, if you had have said to me So if you had have travelled back in time and said that you'd just had this conversation with me and that we were sitting here talking like this, and you told me all the things that I was going to do and all the things that I was going to achieve, I will be honest, there would have been a small part of me that would have been really excited about that, but there would have been a large part of me that wouldn't have believed that we were capable of it.
You've said that. How intensely would you have doubted it?
I would have laughed at you.
Yes, thank you.
I would have massively laughed at you. And then I would have thought that it would just be a dream and that you were making it up, or that you were just saying things to get me on board. Because I would have still had all those thoughts in the back of my head that would be looking at giving me reasons and excuses not to do it. I think I would have thought that I'd have been capable of achieving half of, maybe at a push, half of it.
We've had a workout. Did you enjoy today's workout?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
And if your past self was watching you do that workout, what would you say?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I know, thinking back of her now, because I see us as very different people, I think she would have just been so impressed and so proud and envious. She would have been jealous, because she would want to be then where we are now.
Yes. There
would have been a level of envy, which sounds weird to say you're jealous of yourself, but yeah.
Because when you started, your doubts were just colossal.
I didn't come here off my own back. I came here because Carl said to try this before anything else. And I thought, okay, we'll give it a shot. But if he hadn't have suggested it, I wouldn't have come, because at that point I didn't think that this would have been enough.
Yeah. So you had his support, you had my support. If that wasn't there, how far would you have got?
If I didn't have the extra support, if I was doing this off of my own back, I wouldn't be here now. Because this isn't, when I say I thought in the past I've tried literally everything. I've tried literally everything, the shakes, the diets, the plans, I've tried, and for a very long time, and it just wasn't successful. It wasn't working. I couldn't work out why it wasn't working. And that's not to say that I'm not capable, but we don't do things on our own when they're massive. You need help, you need support.
Considering them, so you're a very clever person, and considering the amount of knowledge and training you've had, why didn't you do it yourself?
Why didn't I
do it yourself?
I didn't know I needed to do all of this. When I look back on the things that I've tried before, I was very easily influenced by the quick wins and the quick fixes. I was very easily influenced by this is all you need to do. And it isn't all you need to do. And I think if I'd have had to have come across a plan that incorporated all of this without the extra support, I would have found it too daunting. It would have been too much for me to do on my own. And I think that's why I was looking for the quick wins and the quick fixes and the, lose X amount of weight in X amount of time sort of thing. Because I thought, well, that's achievable. I can do that. But it wasn't achievable because I couldn't do it. So
at some level, did you think you knew better than...
Yes. Yeah. And that was really frustrating because I genuinely thought I knew better. I thought I knew what I was doing, and it wasn't getting me the results I wanted. And then that reinforced to myself, well, I'm the problem. I must be the problem because I'm doing everything that people are telling me to do, drinking the shakes, eating the soups, I'm doing the fast, and it's not working. So obviously I'm the problem. And I'm not the problem. It was the other plans that were the problem because they weren't supportive. They wanted to make it seem easy.
And so what about now makes you realise that you're ready to help others?
Because I think I'm very aware that I'm really lucky that I've got you and that I've got Carl and that I've got a lot of support. I'm also very aware, and I see it a lot at work, that there are lots of people out there who don't have support, and I have daily conversations with people who are struggling, and I don't have time at work to help them how I know they need help. And it's hard, it's really frustrating. And I feel like I'm at the point where I can't just sit on that anymore.
So go deeper. Why?
Because I feel I know how to help them. I feel like I know what's going to work for them. I feel like I know how to support and guide them and not fob them off and not just throw them something that they think is going to help that isn't actually going to help. And I can see how desperate they are, and I can see how much they want to change. They're like me, they just didn't know what to do, and they didn't know how to do it, and they didn't have the support. So I'm kind of seeing it from the other side, and it's just so frustrating that in my capacity at work, I can't do that for them there.
If anyone's thinking of joining your program, why now?
Why now? Well, if you were like me at that point, what else have you got to lose? What else? How much worse are you going to let it get? You know, how much more are you going to put yourself last? How much more are you going to let yourself suffer? How much more are you going to lose yourself before you decide to put a stop to it and help yourself?
So when you started, you might have looked at yourself and said, but you're not skinny mini, why should I listen to you? What would you tell?
Well, and you know, that's a comment that you do. Oddly enough, when you work in healthcare, people say the weirdest things to you, and they will compare themselves to you when you're trying to give them advice, and they'll go, oh, well, you're not, you know, why should I listen to you? I'm not where I want to be at the moment, but this is a process. It's a really long process. But I'm also not where I was back when I first started. I've come a significant way and I've learnt an awful lot. So why should you listen to me? Well, I've been where you've been. I understand where you're coming from. I know how you're feeling. We're on exactly the same pathway. I'm just further ahead than you. And instead of just trundling along down the path on my own, going, this is great for me, I'm happy to stop and wait for you, and we can, well, not stop, I'm going to carry on, but I'm going to bring you with me. We'll go together.
If anybody has any doubt, what's the first thing they should do?
Doubt as in why they should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. Just try it. There's thinking about taking action, and then there's taking action, and we can think about it all we like. The more you think about it, the more you're going to talk yourself out of doing it. The more you're going to give yourself reasons for why you can't do it, for why it's not possible, for why you can't fit it in. And that's just that self-doubt talking. So it's like taking a huge leap of faith. Just do it. It's certainly not going to get any worse, is it? It can only get better.
If they do nothing, it probably is going to get worse.
It is going to get worse. It really, really is going to get worse. The weight will creep up. The self-loathing will get worse. You will just become a shell of who you could be. And that's a horrible way to live.
Okay, so let's finish on, let's go for 5 things that feel better for you now.
Everything. So my self-confidence. I genuinely now believe that I can do anything, whereas when I started I was like, no, I can't even run. Whereas now I'm like, yeah, I can do anything I want, literally anything. I'm not sure if it's a big head problem now, but I feel unstoppable. So yeah, so my energy levels, my self-belief in myself, my confidence, I see opportunity everywhere now, whereas before I felt I was excluded from that. Now I'm like, there is so much out there, and I'm just waiting for me to go and get it. I feel like I'm able to give more to my kids. I'm able to give more to my husband. I'm able to put myself first. and not feel guilty about it, because that's the key thing. You don't have to feel guilty about putting yourself first. It's not a bad thing. And I know now where to put boundaries in to protect myself and look after myself. And that's really important as well.
You recently had a holiday. How was that different to what holidays used to be like?
So holidays would always be about food. It would always be about going out to eat or drink, or it would be I would say it would be an excuse to just do whatever I wanted. I was doing whatever I wanted anyway in terms of food, but I could outwardly do whatever I wanted. So, you know, I could eat a share size bag of crisps on holiday and nobody would judge me. Whereas now, it's because I feel so different within myself now, and I don't want my kids to grow up thinking that that's what holidays are about. So now it's about the days out, it's about the things that we're doing with the boys. And when I'm planning what we're going to do on holiday now, food is like the last thing I'm thinking about. I'm thinking, well, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? What sort of activities can we engage in that we can enjoy together as a family? And then it's always, well, we'll sort something out with food later. It's not the priority anymore, and it always used to be.
The deepest part in your heart now feels what compared to what you used to?
Very empowered, very happy, very capable. I feel bright, if that makes sense.
Gosh, yeah, definitely.
Whereas before, I just felt like I was going through the motions. I didn't feel alive. I just felt like I was going through the motions, living out day to day, sort of just existing. Whereas now I feel like I can confidently say I feel like I'm thriving.
So if there's anybody that was in your shoes back then, are you ready to help them?
I'm excited to help them. I want to help them because they can have it too. There's no limit on this. Everybody can have it. You don't have to be, you know, it's not only for certain people. Everybody can have it.
So they're going to have self-belief. They're going to have food freedom. And when they look in the mirror and they're picking clothes, what are they going to feel?
They're going to feel excited. I used to hate it. And I used to buy and pick clothes that I didn't like and that weren't me, but it's because that's what fitted. And that's just, from an identity point of view, it's not nice. Whereas now I feel like I have a style. I'll wear clothes that, you know, I think I look really amazing in this and I feel fantastic in it. And I'm not worried about how short my skirt is, and I'm not worried about how low cut my top is anymore. And I have a style and an identity because I have more freedom over where I can buy clothes. It's exciting.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Do you remember when I wore this top previously and it ruined my whole workout? I was like, I can't do it. I'm so uncomfortable. Whereas now I'm like, I'm going to wear this today because I want sleeves.
And you look great.
Thank you. Feel good.